This is the Student Leadership News Podcast.
Well, hello and welcome everybody to the Student Leadership News Podcast. It is Andy here and rocking the beats with me is Cameron. How you going, Cam?
Hey everyone, how you going? It's good to be back with you for our first podcast of the year. 2020.
So good.
How's the start for you, Andy?
Mate, the new decade has been fantastic.
Oh, that's good. What did you get up to over the holidays?
Over the holidays, you like to take it easy, and best part about going on holidays I like is getting active.
Okay.
Getting my active on.
Okay. We know that you're a very active guy. You like to cycle, you like to run, you like to swim, you like to do triathlons, which is all those three things.
Yeah, bit of that. Then we got out on the boat. Did some water skiing, bit of forward driving, just outdoors, you know.
Wow.
It's a lovely time of the year to get out and about. How about yourself?
I also had a great little holiday. I went over to the Philippines at the end of last year. Enjoyed some time over there with some friends, helping out some of the local people over there, which was great, and I really enjoyed that. But back in Australia now.
Yep. And in the Philippines, do they have razors?
Razors.
Yeah.
They do have razors, yes.
Do they? I've just noticed that you've come back with a bit of extra facial hair there. You are sporting a moustache.
Moustache, yes. I have shaved the rest of the beard off that I had at the end of last year.
Yep.
It's summer. It's hot in Queensland, and I've decided to have an airy, breezy face and a moustache. Yes.
And what's the theory behind that? You just like the look of it, or you're just, I don't know, what's going on there?
Why not? Why not? We live life too much sometimes, worrying about what other people think. And so as a little bit of leadership advice there, don't worry about what other people think. Get out there, do something that you want to enjoy.
Is there a photo that we can put up somewhere that we can take a poll with all the listeners and decide whether we keep it or whether we get rid of it?
Are you meaning like beard or mustache or no facial hair?
The mustache in particular. We take a photo, we put it up, and we get everybody to go and have a look and vote whether you should keep it or shave it.
I feel like this is sure we can try and organize that. I'll see what I can organize.
Okay, we'll put it up on Student Leadership News social media.
Yeah.
And we need people to vote and say whether they want you to keep it or whether they want you to shave it.
Okay.
I got a feeling everyone's going to say shave it.
Okay, that's good. Well, the question is, will I listen to everyone or will I just go with my own gut?
No, you've got to decide. You've got to do it. You've got to lock it in now. That's the purpose of the whole thing. You've got to decide this is what we're going to do. We're going to lock it in, put it to the people.
We'll see what they say. And then maybe that'll influence me. Anyways, that's enough about my mustache chat. This is the Student Leadership News Podcast. Andy, over the holidays.
All about the news. What is going to happen? Everyone's excited about Cam's mustache.
That'll be some news. There'll be some news. Andy, over the holidays, there was over 15 different articles that were put up on the website.
Yep.
How many did you read? Did you read all 15?
I probably got 14.
Okay. I reckon I read about 15 of them. I've read through most of them.
Yeah,
they're
fantastic.
Great. Yeah. And it's a great time that as student leaders, starting off the year, maybe just being elected into a student leadership role. Yeah. Great time that you can look back through the holiday catalog and you can look at all the different things that happened at the end of last year that just got reported on. But we're going to be sharing some of those things during this episode of the podcast.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what it's all about, finding out what other schools are doing, the ideas that people are having. And, I love what you said there about students getting back into school and thinking, what is something I can do where you can go back and have a look at all those 15 example stories that people have been done and go, do you know what, maybe we could do something like that at our school. But we are going to share some, aren't we?
We are. We're going to share our top 3, our favorites from over the holidays, which was really hard to pick because there was so many great articles that were put up over the holidays. But we're going to share our top 3 right now here on the podcast.
3, 2, 1.
Top 3.
Andy, top 3. These ones took us a while to choose because there were so many great articles. Can you kick us off? What was the favorite? The first one we chose, not necessarily our favorite, but what was the first article we chose to bring to this episode?
Well, there's a couple. There's 2 that fit into one, I think, and over the Christmas holidays, although we enjoyed ourselves, it was is gone down in history. People are saying as Australia's worst period for bushfires and just the devastation that we saw, all throughout particularly the eastern side of the country. And, it's great when, we see lots of people from media people to different communities to the government all getting involved in trying to help out. But there were two stories on Student Leadership News in particular that really jumped out to me. I know we talked a little bit about them before. The first one was a student from Palm Beach, Currumbin State School. And, she obviously was out there and thinking, I want to do something. She's a student in year 8. And she was like, saw the devastation. But in particular, some crazy figure, Cam, like billions of Australian native animals
so many,
have been devastated, injured, totally destroyed by these fires. And this student, Talia
McFarland,
was wanted to do something for the affected wildlife. And, even though these animals are in pain and hurting and that sort of stuff, still it's very delicate the way that you've got to treat them. You're going up to an injured koala and just picking it up, you could get clawed yourself or something like that. And so Talia decided that she was going to use recycled linen. So bed sheets, doona covers, all that sort of stuff, and sew them, put them together that could be used to help the injured wildlife, to help pick them up, to nurse them, make pouches so that they can feel comfortable, and donated all these goods. And I think it's just something so fantastic that there's a student sees this devastation, and often we sit there and go, what can we do?
Yeah. Yep.
But she's put her hand up and said, you know what, I'm going to try something.
Yeah.
And got out there, and the community was thoroughly impressed with what she came up with and the ideas that she was able to put in place. And
I actually really like how it shows a great picture of generosity. She got these things, although secondhand, maybe they were from her own house, some of the pillowcases and stuff that she had. And then she looked outside herself, and she looked at a way that she could repurpose them to help not only animals, but, help the people who need it, the wildlife rescuing people who needed that kind of material to look after those animals well, which I really like that picture of generosity. And the other article that we posted, this one kind of went a little bigger. It was about this young student called Ryder, who got onto Erin Mullen, one of our friends, talks at the National Young Leaders Day, and was talking to her about wanting to donate a camper van, his family's camper van, to someone who needed it. Yeah, it's kind of a crazy story. It all kind of unfolded, and Andy, take away what. Well,
it was quite moving as well. He had, I saw the video. He was kind of like, I want to donate all my pocket money. He's got a little piggy bank and stuff. And it's like, it's not hundreds, thousands, millions of dollars, but there's this little kid who's seen devastation somewhere else and wanting to do something for them. And so he's like, I'll give all that I've saved up. But not only that, I'll talk to my parents about our camper van that's just out the back, no one's using.
Yep.
And, these people don't have houses. Who can we get it to so that they can get in there and do that? It's just that for me was, over the holiday break and this period of time, seeing as you said, the generosity and the willingness of people just to dig in and help out has just been, it's been inspirational. And, it's not just these two people. It's not Ryder and Talia, who are just the only ones who are doing something, but they're just two that we saw and that, up on Student Leadership News. And we want to say to people that, a little bit can make a big difference.
Yeah.
You never know that something so small to you or that you might think is meaningless can make a huge difference to other people.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And those two students went out their way. And I think there's lots that even as the start of the year, there's still some devastation that has occurred, and there's still fires actually still going on. And although there was lots of talk about it a couple of weeks ago, sometimes it dies down, we kind of forget about it. And I think there's a lot that we can do as student leaders and as teachers all around the country that we can look to the year and we can think, how can we start this year off well, and how can we maybe look outside our school and support something a little bit bigger than ourselves. But yeah, so that was the first kind of articles. Students doing a great job right there.
Yeah, well, you talked about starting off the year well. Another article we have just posted recently brand new school started up, Bob Hawke College.
Yeah.
Named after a former Prime Minister.
Yep.
And these students, brand new school. So no one has been in a student leadership position at their school in the past. And they decided that they wanted to set the goals and set something up for their new year. Being the first ones, they've had no one go through in the past. And so they're like, to start us off, we want to set goals and let everybody in the school know exactly what it is we want to achieve. I think we've got a bit of audio cam about these students saying their goals.
To me, Bob Hawke College means a new opportunity. I'm really excited to leave a legacy and start lots of new things which will be continued throughout all the years.
I'll be really excited to be a leader for all my years, and so I can help the younger kids get around the school and get to know it really well.
Inclusion is a major part of our story. Extraordinary together implies this best version of ourselves, but also that we do that in an inclusive way, that we do it together.
Shape the culture, we can shape the values of the school, being the first ones there, shaping the values.
The rest of the video so you can go check it out. It's on one of our recent articles that we've uploaded to the website. But you know what I really love there? The principal, he came in there and he said, inclusive together. And I think that's something that, you can go into the start of the year and you can look as a school and say, well, how can we be really inclusive? And I love that it's a new school starting and that they're starting off with all these great values, so many different things that the students said there, really inspiring and a great way to start to lead throughout their whole life. But I really love what he said, inclusive together, and something that we can strive towards as a school totally at the start of the year.
Yeah, that school in particular. I mean, if they hadn't sat down and thought about their goals, then it's quite easy just to get in to the new school year and just go through the motions, and then all of a sudden, you're well into term one, term two's coming around, and the same is true with students who have been at schools who've been around for hundreds of years. We need to stop and think, what is it that we want to achieve this year? What did last year do? Let's take the positive things from their leadership. Let's implement them if we want to be a part of that as well. But let's stop and think, what are the things that we want to achieve? So it's not just for new schools. It's for students who are part of schools who have been around for many, many years, and thinking about what can we do that's really going to make a significant difference this year for us as leaders and for the school community.
Yeah, I really love that. And I really think that, going into the year, often we can think as student leaders that we need to come up with totally new ideas and we need to come up with a total new agenda, and we have to come up with all these new things. And sometimes I know from my own experience, you sit there at the beginning of the year, you're planning the year ahead, and all of a sudden you're thinking, wow, there's a lot of new things we have to do. We have to live up to this big legacy. But I love what you said there. There's things that have happened before, and as student leaders, you can jump straight in and you can use some of those things from previous years just to get the ball rolling, so that then the year can get underway. Love it. There's another great one. We talked about inclusivity before. Inclusivity. Oh, my bad English right there. But we talked about that before, and this last article that we're going to bring up is a great one for being really inclusive at schools. It's actually an article that we wrote about student leaders everywhere getting involved with the International Day of People with Disability.
Yeah.
I love this article because if you go to the website, www.studentleadership.news, you'll get to see how many different schools were actually involved with this. There were so many different schools in this one region that got together and that worked together to make sure that there was this fun, not only one event, but all these different things that were going on that made sure that people not only with disabilities could get involved, but lots of different students could actually see what it was like to live with a disability. There was this one game where they had to all try and catch a ball, but they had these masks on that kind of made their vision a little bit more harder to see through. And so just getting to live through that experience was able to give the students a little bit of an insight into it.
Yeah, simulated activities to show that, hey, this is what someone who is vision impaired has to go through every day.
Yeah.
And simple things that we take for granted, like throwing and catching a ball. Often I go to you, just got a ball. Hey, Cam, catch this. Bang. You do it nice and easy. Well, sometimes drop it.
Sometimes,
but, and to have that experience. But this was all part of, as you said, International Day of People with Disabilities, and the Australian organisers actually put up a prize was $3,000 for schools who came up with different initiatives and activities that would help to bring inclusivity and awareness to students with disabilities. And, there were, as you said, simulated activities. There were different art competitions. There was one, a color dash.
Yeah.
You've heard of the color run where people run around and get thrown different colors on, but the color dash, just nice and short, particularly, a lot easier and more sustainable for the students with a disability to participate in that, just a little bit shorter, but it gave them something to be a part of.
Yeah. I also love that one because they actually raised some money on that day and all those funds went together towards actually building a park, I believe, to actually make a playground that was better for students with a disability. So it was looking more towards them and how to fit their needs.
Yep.
And so they actually used the funds from that towards that, which I love. They looked at not only something that was fun and inclusive, but they also thought, how can we make this bigger than just this? How can we also help those students with disability? But so there's some of our favorite articles from throughout the year.
It's fantastic. Love to share different stories.
Yeah.
Stories are the parts of, that make us who we are and finding out what other schools are doing. And you can sit back and just go, man, that's pretty cool. That's pretty inspiring. Maybe we can do something like that as well. Or maybe you got something different. And if you guys do anything great at your school, write into Student Leadership News. And we'd love to share it on the podcast, on the website, so that other schools, other students can be inspired as well by the things that you do at your school.
Yeah, exactly right. There's a whole lot of year ahead and there's lots of different things that you'll experience throughout the year. And one of the best things that you can do is not only look at your own team and say, how can we help our school, but how can we even help our country? And I think getting involved with the podcast, getting involved with a bunch of different things is a great way that you can help people all around the country and get them inspired for the year as well.
Absolutely. Now, Cam.
Yes.
You've had 15 minutes or so.
Yep.
The mustache.
The mustache.
What are you hoping people will vote for?
I'm hoping they say keep it.
Are you?
Yeah, because I like it.
Right. So if they say shave it,
yeah,
you will follow through and shave it?
I'll definitely trim it.
It is a little bit long. Like, I don't know. You'll be able to see in the photo, folks, it's kind of like going over his top lip and down into his teeth.
Yeah.
Do you use it to floss your teeth?
Only the loose hairs. Sometimes I get them out.
That's
no,
disgusting.
don't do that. That's disgusting. Yeah. No, I don't do that at all.
Okay, so jump on Student Leadership News social media. We'll put a photo of Cam up and his mustache. If you want him to keep it, vote keep it. If you want him to shave it, then shave it. And if it is shave it, we'll take a picture of us shaving it. Cam.
Okay, well.
Lock it in.
We'll
Lock
see.
it in.
Well,
deal? Yes, he's shaking my hand. Fantastic.
Is,
yes, it's locked in.
The problem is, I reckon there may be only a few voters, and you'll be one or two of them.
Doesn't matter.
And you'll just vote for it. Either way, we've got plenty of time to talk about that later. Thanks for everyone for tuning in for this episode. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time with another podcast talking all about the news that has happened on Student Leadership News. Between now and then, feel free to go to the website www.studentleadership.news or check us out on social media. Search for Student Leadership News anywhere and you'll probably find us there.
Search for mustache. Keep it or shave it.
Don't know if we'll be under that, but you'll find out if you go there. Thanks everyone for tuning in and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Student Leadership News Podcast. Interact with us on social media and follow the news online at studentleadership.news.